Yeah, I mean, some good things are happening. When you've been in year one and you're going into year two, you're trying to build things. You're trying to find new things and things that complement the old things that we've done and do well. So I think we're on pace in doing that. Is it where we want it to be? Absolutely not. And if it was, not would be worried, but I'd be pumping the brakes. Why is this so amazing now to have to carry it, into this long journey? So no, we're getting it right where we need to be, massaging the plan that we have and the plays that we're trying to master, the plays that we're trying to get better at, the different schemes we're wanting to fit in, some different concepts we've added. So ultimately, we're right where we need to be. But going against this defense, and as you've seen it, the changes they've made, the pressure they're putting on us, not going to say some of these moments, days, and drills haven't been frustrating, but at the same time, that's what you want. That's what camp's about. We're making the plays, majority of the plays that are necessary to make, and so it's a fun environment. Yeah, no, not long at all. Yeah, I mean, most of them are complementary of something else, so, it's easy to teach them because, we're doing it because of A worked this way, so, this is the adjustment to get to B, and so I don't think there's going to be a long journey. It's just about getting those different plays in versus a bunch of different looks. Our defense has only given us so many looks, and so you've got to walk through and get those looks against ourselves, and it's just part of training camp. But, a full weekend or so now, I feel good about where we're going in the direction. Run game has looked good. It's about just building now, continue to build on that, and then just get sharper in the pass game.
Clarence Hill did our last couple of things. Number one, we know about GP and Lamb, but the tight ends really showed up the last couple of days. Perkins catching the ball downfield and spanning forward, making plays. You talk about them and what you expect from them this year.
Yeah, it's really the standard that those guys are holding themselves to. I mean, they're those two guys right there you just named are real pros, and they hold the standard of the room at a very high level, along with their coach, L-Dub. They take a lot of pride in their job, take a lot of job in the responsibility, and they're always trying to communicate with the quarterbacks and myself and asking me why or, what can they do, and, talking about complementary plays. Those are the guys that want to run complementary routes of what they've done and always asking for more, and then just going into the offseason, I'll always credit the guys who put in the work and, who show up constantly and don't miss or bugging me once the next day we're throwing. And that starts with Brev and Ferg. Those are two guys that anytime I pretty much had the ball this offseason, they were there. And so that helps with the timing. That helps with the comfortability. And we're just only going to grow now.
So far through camp?
Just their intensity. It'd be – I don't know if I can just say one player because of the intensity. I think it might be the guy on the right, and then that means then the backers just as crazy or excited backing him up, or and then they're making plays for the DBs, and so the DBs are screaming because they feel like they locked us down, and it's like, oh, it's only the rush, but at times the rush gets there and the DBs do get a chance to make a play. Yeah, it's just the collab effort of their intensity and their communication is felt. It's definitely felt when we're just out there and we're motioning and we're making our calls, and then post-play, anytime that they've made a play, they've celebrated, deservingly so. And I just think that raises the energy of the whole team, pisses us off a little bit on offense, but that's what camp's about. And, we've just got to lock in and be sharper and fire back at them as we did today a little bit.
Jack Powers with ESPN. How did Flournoy earn your trust?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of showing up, Flo is probably the number one guy and showing up this offseason. Literally anytime I've had a ball, he's been there. Always asking questions, always just doing the right thing. He's he's a guy that you want on your team. He's a guy that you want on your team no matter what game you're playing. His belief in himself, I think that's where it starts. And, the moment he's gotten his opportunity, he's never looked back. And not only never looked back, he's looking to get more opportunities, to get more responsibility, to do more for the team. He understands the role that he plays, and he's just trying to make sure that he capitalizes on it every time. And he's never satisfied. He's a guy that I enjoy being around. He's a guy that I'm super thankful to have as a teammate. And when you have that as a guy that's a pass catcher, it makes everything better.
The leadership council, to have the 10, 11 guys, who it is, what's the benefit of that from the player's perspective?
Yeah, just that our voices are heard. When you've got guys like we do on that council, veteran guys, for me, it's good to have guys on different teams. I know what I know, and good. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, and so you've got other guys that can come in and say, this is a way that we've done it, or I've had it like this in the past, and, not necessarily those are the right ways, but it gives you a different perspective, gives you a way to look at different solutions to get to things. And, it's really cool how Sade put it together, with the O2X crew, and just on the simple fact of, there's certain things that we handle as a team. There's certain things that, we may get and bring to a coach, but not necessarily Shoddy, and then we figure out a way to handle it. And then there's things that ultimately have to get to the head coach. And I think that just takes pressure off of everyone's plate. I mean, I know this council was created a little bit, and in that sense, I was made not to be the head guy. Like, that was purposeful, as I couldn't be the, whatever you want to call it, the chief leader in there, because I'm going to speak up, I'm going to talk, I know what I know, and I'm not going to be hesitant to say it. But we need other guys to take that lead. And Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, and Tyler Smith have been those guys to step up, and they're doing a hell of a job with the committee. And yeah, there's things that from the spring to now that we've already incorporated that was the voice of that committee, and that committee is ultimately speaking for the team. So it allows empowerment and understanding that we have a huge part in this accountability thing.
John Machota with The Athletic. Christian Parker talked to us yesterday a little bit about in the meeting rooms. He's got the guys making calls as if they were out on the field. It's getting kind of loud in there a little bit. I was wondering if there's anything behind the scenes that you have noticed from the defense that maybe you're like, all right, I feel good about this. This isn't going to be a repeat of the way they were last year.
Yeah, I mean, the men that we have and the way that they approach and attack their job, I mean, I can't talk about CP enough and the pride that he carries with his job. I was just talking to a couple of the trainers in there about, the trash talk back and forth. And I go, yeah, he can't be out there making the plays, but there's not 1 ounce of him that doesn't think that he's making plays. And he is. And that's, having pride in your job. And I think that just ultimately rolls into and is contagious to each and every one of those guys he's coaching. And I think that's where, when I'm speaking on the intensity, I mean, it starts with their communication and then ultimately ends with just how physical they are and running to the ball. And yeah, there was a day the other day, we're in the offensive meeting, they're in the defensive meeting, and not that we were struggling to hear what we were saying, but they were over there communicating, and I don't know, I think it was a Jeopardy game within their own defensive calls. And yeah, it felt like playing on the road as we're just trying to install our meeting because of how loud and intense and fun that they were having doing their job. And that's contagious as well. You feel that on that side of the ball, that unit's giving you that. You want to do the same on offense. So nothing but good things to say about that unit.
You've been coming out here now 11 years. Is there a part of this camp where, I don't know, week 2, week 3, when you're kind of like, I'm ready to go home? And if there is that any different than maybe when you were first on the team?
No, I love it out here in Cali. I was watching that flyover today, thinking about the weather, just thinking, damn, it's nice. Yeah, no, I love this game. Fortunately, my girls are out here. They're out here this week, and so that helps. That helps even that time of my mind wanting to, get away from camp and thinking about them. They're down the road, and so that allows me to get time with them. But no, I've always enjoyed coming to training camp. There's never been even a moment of me that wants to get out, even when it's been a month and a half, whether it's 3 weeks or, however long the entirety of this thing is. I think this is the most that we get, especially in our organization, of just pure football, and it's kind of why, talking about all the goals and talking about all that, is important to make sure everybody understands that now, because sometimes you get out here, you're kind of in your bubble, and you're just football, and then you get back to Dallas, and then, you start the normal, the real life, dealing with the things off the field, whether it be with your family, dealing with, with the things that the media are going to say, and then, you're only in at work talking about a game plan, and it's very just a strict schedule. Where out here, you've got time to create that brotherhood, go and sit down and have lunch with your guys, and, maybe take them out to dinner, the nights that you can. And so I've always enjoyed training camp. I think it's a huge part of a team's success, and I appreciate the way each and every one of these guys are approaching this camp.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram. Shadi complimented Tyler Guyton for his start to camp. What have you seen from your perspective? Yeah,
a guy that has a lot to prove. A guy that's walking around with a chip on his shoulder. You see it out there. May get beat a play, but he's going to come back with more fire on the next play, and that's all you can really ask for a guy is to get better. He was an off-season award-winning champion. I think that speaks a lot about his approach to the off-season and the gains and where he's trying to get to and what he's trying to be for this team, understanding how vital that position is at left tackle. You know, I'm sure he's trying to quiet the noise of Tyler Smith having to move or whatever the question was that you guys asked me the other day. I'm sure he hears that, and I'm sure he wants to, you know, make sure he solidifies not only his job, but who he is and the kind of player that he can be for this team and in this league.
The Rams practiced on Tuesday more on that. They added a couple players on their side of the ball, on the defensive side. Do you see this as a litmus test for this offense right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every day at practice is a test, and it's a way to grade yourself. And then so when you ultimately get another team coming in here, and a team like the Rams, playoff team, a really, really good team on all facets of the game, as you just said, adding a big name, a couple of big names, right? Whether it be McDuffie in the draft and whether it be Myles Garrett the other day, and obviously they're playing with this Aaron Donald thing. So thankfully he won't be out here just yet. But seriously, yeah, it's a litmus test. You know, it's all you can ask for. CD was just talking about today, looking forward to Tuesday, and it's looking forward to just us getting better, understanding one, this is a team that we're going to play in the season, and it's probably a team that, you know, if we want to get to where we want to get to, we're going to have to see them again. So call this probably what the first of 3 meetings, I'd assume, if, you know, everybody takes care of business. And, you know, yeah, so it's definitely going to be a test. It's going to be fun. It's going to be 2 great teams competing against each other, and at the end of the day, it's practice. So, yeah, we'll have a lot of time after that to clean it up and to say, this is what we got to get better, but we can't go out here and also have a hell of a practice and think we've done something.
Tommy Yarish, DallasCowboys.com. Going back to the Leadership Council, all 4 of the defensive guys weren't here last year. From your perspective, when you've been around them, how have you seen them kind of grow into those roles in such a short time?
I think that's who they are. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if I don't know them in their past teams, but I know the men that I've talked to. I know the conversations that I've had. I know when I've sat in any meeting with them, whether it be these leadership meetings or team meetings, the way that they speak, the way that they articulate the game, their passion, their love for the game. I think that's who they are. And so it's really, really cool just to, as I said, to be in a group like that and to have different perspectives. And more importantly, have people that are as hungry as I am and as urgent as I am to get this done. And so credit to all of those guys. They're real pros, and they make me better. And their love and passion for the game and their passion for their brotherhood and their teammates is felt.
And then KaVontae Turpin's a guy who got involved a bit today. How much more do you think he can do for this offense as a receiver?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. I mean, Turpin's a guy that we all understand. He gets the ball in his hand, whether it's the kick return, punt return, or jet sweep, or just in the passing game or whatever it is, you've got to watch out. And so, yeah, he's going to be a huge factor to this offense, as he's been, and we're going to continue to try to find ways to make him complement this offense, get us all better, complement those other, you know, 2 receivers out there. And, yeah, and he's a guy that takes pride in that wants to do whatever he can to help this team out. I mean, he knows a lot of my calls. He's a lot smarter receiver than you may would think. And I mean, he's out there knowing all the adjustments, the hot adjustments. He's just an impressive player. And so if you ask Steve even to go in there and block, he's going to do it. You know, he's been one of those guys that may get upset when you move him out of position because, you know, he's not the guy that you want to block. And, you know, he takes that offensive, you know, and that's just kind of the kind of guys you want. And so, yeah, we got to continue to find a way to get the ball to Turp. But once again, there's only one ball out there, and we've got a lot of great players. So they've also got to do a job and complement and make sure that they're doing their job to get others open.
Louis Scruggs, NBC5. Can you tell me your impressions of Kobe Durant so far in this game?
Yeah, I mean, smart player, super smart player. I've had a few conversations with him just about the defense. Obviously intercepted me the other day in the red zone, and just going and asking him about that defense and that call and the way that he played it, that was impressive itself. And so he's out there, he's fighting with 2 great receivers, 3, whoever the hell is in front of him. He's fighting them, and he's a guy that walks around with his chip on his shoulder, you know, talking about urgent and being a pro and doing the things the right way. Kobe's one of those guys. You know, we also have this leadership group, but we also have these teams that, you know, we're all broken down into. I don't know how many full teams it is, but Kobe's in my team. And to hear him talk, to hear the way that he sees the game, to hear what this game means to him and how he would never cheat this game is as great as a thing I've heard any teammate say. And so he's a guy that not only speaks the right way, but walks it, and you don't even have to talk to him, and you can see what he's about, and you can see what he means and how he's going to show up for not only this game, but for his teammates.
A former Cowboy receiver recently talked about how he made $80 million and doesn't have most of it now. As a quarterback and the contracts you had, how do you make sure that you protect this wealth and things that you've got into your post-career?
Yeah, I mean, I've got an amazing team, financial team, and I mean, I'll start and really finish there. Educated and somewhat saving money. I've got 2 little girls. I've been blessed to have generational money at this point, and just trying to make sure that I do everything to set them up for their future and whatever they want to do and have the opportunity to do whatever. Yeah, that's sad to hear. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm stuck on that more than anything. Yeah, I just encourage guys to find people that they trust and talk to people. There's all kind of books out there, and to educate themselves, and if you don't know if there's somebody you can trust, come talk to me and I can show you somebody that I can trust. I've been super, super blessed with an amazing team, and I can't say enough about my financial team and where I'm at and where I'm going. They still tell me sometimes, that I may spend not too much, but yeah, and I look at them, and I'm like, damn, you're cheap, but I appreciate that. And I think we all kind of need that, to have somebody like that in your corner, because when you have it, you can't spend it fast. So just unfortunate to hear that. I mean, I'd ask any of my teammates, and I guess I probably should echo in the locker room, if they're struggling with that or need help in finding somebody who can help them, I've got the guy.
Mike Leslie, WFA, a little bit more on CP. He's only about a year and a half older than you. How have you seen that youth show up in the way that he coaches? Are there elements that you've seen that impact the way that he does the job?
Yeah, I don't even think it's a year and a half. I think it's some months. Yeah, I just asked him the other day, right?
34.
Did he just turn 34?
5 in December.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I questioned you guys. Like y'all didn't do that homework. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I mean by like the pride. When I say the guy's carrying pride, right? He's coaching with and against guys that are his age or not much younger. And I don't know if it's like the big brother for him, whether it's the guys he's coaching or even the guys that he's playing. But no big brother wants to get beaten. Trust me, I'm the little brother. That's the reason I am who I am, is always trying to compete against my big brothers and beat them. And so, yeah, I think it's a pride deal that, yeah, he can't be out there making tackles, but he can make the calls and he can put guys in the right place and he can take ownership for their communication and why they're doing the things that they're doing. And he wears that. And, I think just his intensity in the trash talking or the way he calls the plays and ultimately just his pride in the game is felt. It's felt by everybody. I know the receivers love going back and forth with him. I know it's fun for me when we do. And it's a true, for me against him, is an iron sharpens iron mentality for the mental side of the game. And I truly appreciate that.
You mentioned your daughters. Are there times, like earlier today, you're out there and your daughter's pointing to her number 4 jersey? Do you have to kind of stop yourself? Because I know you're so focused on the work that you guys have to do here. Do you have to kind of stop down every once in a while and appreciate that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate them getting a chance to, come to my office or, come out on the football field and just hang for a little bit, even if they don't fully grasp it. That they'll have these memories and stuff like that in the back of their heads. And MJ, I mean, the oldest, she's already, yeah, she enjoys the football side of it, saying the number 4, showing get right, and I think even just seeing her dad on pictures and in places. So I think it's cool, and ultimately I said it the other day on the news. That's who I want to win for. It was for a long time wanting to win for myself and to prove people or to prove myself right. I want those girls to say their dad's a champion.
Dak, Adam Rosso with Spectrum News. Call it the Super Bowl buzz, the Gotti talk. For you, what's the line between confidence and overconfidence, and maybe how, as a leader, do you help guys straddle that?
I mean, I'm confident in who I am because I know who I am. And I think as long as you know who you are, it's not overconfidence, you know what I mean? So I'm sure there's a line. I wouldn't say I'm arrogant by any means. Just because I'm speaking my goals and my things out loud, I would encourage other people to do them, to do that. When you do that, you're not only holding yourself accountable, but you allow other people to hold you accountable. A lot of people in this world are afraid to do that because when you don't do it, people are going to check you. They're going to have the receipts of it. And if that's what you're fighting your tail off each and every day to do, why wouldn't you want other people to hold you accountable? You know, I think it helps, if anything. And so, yeah, and I think, you know, just doing that, it's contagious when it's real. And as I said, you know who you are and you're not overstepping your words or just blabbing too much, the players feel it. They watch the way that you approach each day. They watch the way that you approach meetings, how you talk to them, and it's contagious.
On a Stark Spectrum News, Dak, Shadi talked about the red zone offense being a point of emphasis. Is there anything you've seen so far that gives you confidence that y'all will improve in that area?
Yeah, I mean, just one, going into year two and understanding why we weren't last year. I think that's the biggest reason. You know, it's hard to fix a problem if you don't know the why behind it. And, you know, for us, we had a big study in the offseason. That was one of our biggest studies, you know, because we were bad in that area. And so we found that why, and then we were able to go and attack that starting in the spring to now being here in the fall. I mean, first, I guess we've only had one true red zone day or whatever, or 1.5. I already felt the growth. I already felt the jump that we're trying to make. And at the end of the day, it's focus for a lot of guys. The field's shorter. The opportunity for error is almost slim to none if you want to get in the end zone. And so it's guys, one, heightening their focus, two, just understanding every aspect of the red zone, being disciplined to do their jobs, and just staying on it. And one, I mean, play calls are going to help, and ultimately the players have to take ownership in those play calls. And so the fact that we know the why, I feel great about us fixing it.
Mike Ducey, Fox 4, what did it mean to be able to spend a few minutes with the service people after practice?
Oh, amazing. You know, we get to do what we get to do because of those people, and I don't take that lightly or for granted, and I know a lot of our guys on our team don't. So just being able to go through that line, to give the high fives, the daps, the fist bumps, you know, tell them thank you, the God bless. It's awesome to hear their energy. You know, they would want to be in our shoes, and we're just super, a lot of them will, right, want to say, oh, I wish we could play that, wish I could do that. And so, and they're out there laying their lives on the line, and for us to just play a simple game, but yet a game that means so much to so many, that inspires so many, we wouldn't be able to do it without them. Super thankful for each and one of those men and women.
The interception that Kobe had on film, it looked like he was doing a no-look pass. Was that?
I mean, he would have picked it regardless, because I didn't see him coming off, and that's credit to the defense and how they played that off and passed that off. But yeah, I mean, the way that I read it, I mean, it was a man. It was man, and they were just happened to be not necessarily doubling a guy, but being able to pass off, and our route concept played right into that defense's hands. And yeah, Kobe told me, you know, he was like, I really didn't have that guy. I was just trying to stay on his hip and make you think I did. And yeah, from everything that I saw, it was a man, so I didn't expect anybody to be out there. And yeah, it was, you know, and it's bad to say my first no-look passes. So kind of, you know, do I do it again? So I definitely will.